Hello, Amanda, and welcome to your synastry reading. The first thing I'm going to do is hide this panel because I hate it. So what we're going to be getting into today is this thing here. And your chart is represented on the inside. Why, while I tried to say that differently, it didn't work out. While Rodolfo, I didn't want to mess that part up. I'm like, yeah, whatever. It's on the outside. So what we're getting into are the way your energies intermesh and the storyline that they tell. So your bodies are essentially radio receivers. They send out energy and they take in energy. And this is all determined by the time you were born and what portal you came through. Because we are made of protons and neutrons and molecules. So technically, we're all just static that has been compacted into a way that we can see each other in the 3D density. Cool, right? So what happens is when you come into somebody else's life, somebody's auric field, somebody's energetic field in their frequency within their radio range, the energies connect like this. If you have a relationship that started at another time, and by that I mean the conjunctions and the way that you land and impact each other, right? So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through and explain how your energies are affecting one another, what you've done in the past, what your gifts and challenges are, and then what the overall goal for the relationship is with the chart known as the composite. So I'm going to first start with your first house. So in this life, you are coming from being a part of his friend group, a group of learners, a group of educators, right? That can even be repeated in this life. Maybe you met online talking through friends, could be a possibility. At work could be another possibility. And I just say that because something else I saw here that I'll figure out when I see it again. But through having the same values mentally, right? And that's this life that is being re-triggered because it's already happened before. Uh, you're sort of like his cup of tea in regards to what he wants for like the person that's going to be with him for a long time. But the goal this time is to go from this friendship or being a part of the same group or the same soul tribe, right? To over here where you are working together to have this fun, free, sort of unique relationship that continuously helps you both grow. And this is something that is like karmically owed to you with this energy here because you are coming from a space of being married many, many times in other lifetimes. And you wanted a little bit of a head start to develop who you were in this life before you got into this relationship that was so heavy for you, right? Because you guys are sort of tethered to one another. And I say that because his vertex, which is his karmic event, is in your seventh house of marriage. This is something that was meant to come around. You guys wanted to create a legacy together, which means that maybe you wanted a little bit more advancement in your schooling or career before you started having kids and thinking about this relationship because it is sort of so all consuming for you guys. So heading back over here to this first house of self. So who you are just as a person, the way that you think really tickles him. Now, as far as his energies and the way they hit you, the way his mind works and what he values in his life, they naturally connect to your first house. So therefore, that means they evolve you. He sees you, and that's what's really handy in this relationship. Now, the next area is his Juno, which is his soulmate marker. For him, it's hitting your third house cusp. This means in communication, this is very mental relationship, very intellectual. That's also backed up by the fact that his South Node, which means where he's coming from, the last life, once again, look at that Aquarius energy, that's the same as the 11th house. So it's that friendship energy. You guys used to be really good friends in another life, a part of the same tribe, a part of the same religious group, even possibly. But here it's popping up as like co-workers. But in this life, it's going from somebody who is teaching through experience to somebody who is very much on an everyday basis in your communication, in your mind, inspiring you with this setup here. Now, for him, it's in his 12th house. Like, this was karmic. You were his karmic soulmate. This is so, like, emotional for me because I'm a romantic. But it was always in isolation that he would find his soulmate. There's something about himself that he had to find before he was able to find the person that was going to be with him, to trigger that within him. So next we have his Jupiter, which is the way he expands, the way he grows, which is just in who he is, just naturally. He might seem lucky, he might be very optimistic. That expands the way your mind thinks. Like he really gives you a boost in regards to all the areas in yourself that you did not recognize were that great. This is also backed up by the fact that his Mars, which is his power, drive, passion, it really fuels you at home. So what happens behind closed doors is probably awesome for you. That's also where his Saturn is. So having planets in your fourth house means somebody's family. Close to your family. They feel like home. And for him, this contract, that's what Saturn is. He was bound to be a form of family with you. And with this Virgo energy, that's like a neat home where you guys are healing each other and helping each other, and it's just wonderful and perfect. Next, we have his Lilith, which is his dark feminine energy. Once again, in your house of home, your root, your foundation. This is who you are when nobody else is around. So uh, his king, if you will, is in partnership, which is adorable because that's rare, but it's being a partnership, completely meshing into each other, working together, and having an organized home, which is probably like extremely funny also because his Mars is in Virgo. So having stuff in order really gets him. Now, his Pluto, which is his power and transformation, is in your fifth house. That means that you can feel his power in your communication. You can tell that he really wants this, so to speak, because your Pluto is in his third house. So you are mentally changing his ideas about relationships, how he feels about partnership. And your contract to him was in that area. You wanted to change the way he thought, to bring him away from his dark patterns of thinking and everything that he had to deal with karmically before he got to. So that by the time he got to you will be a big change. Now, this is backed up because your vertex, which is your karmic event in this life, is conjunct, which means right next to working with the energy of his Uranus, which is felt inside. You are the thing, your relationship, your fling, whatever this is for you guys right now, is the thing that changed him inside from being like a person who maybe wanted relationships but never let anybody close, never shared his mind, all because of things that happened in his childhood. That was meant to change when you came around. Now, your Uranus, which is your radical change, the ability you have to bring radical change, is next to your Jupiter, which is your luck, your expansion in life. And you are doing that in his family house. So something about your philosophies and the things you have seen in this world have inspired him to do more for himself than he would have before, to see the bright side after the things he's been through. Now, with his Neptune in your sixth house, this also means that there's a karmic piece of your relationship that is meant to be a part of each other's lives every day of your life. And this is Neptune on Neptune. This is karmic. You guys are coming back together after a lifetime where it didn't go like you wanted to. The feeling I'm getting from this is you guys didn't create longevity in your family. Like you had a relationship, but you didn't build anything that would allow you to come back in other lifetimes. And particularly with you, that really bothered you feeling like just a housewife with this setup here. So your Lilith, which is your dark feminine energy, is available in his everyday life. So that means that you're available pretty much to be of service in the sexual area because it's in your eighth house on a day-to-day basis. Because what you need for care, which is this series, is what he has emotionally. Like you guys bond through sex, you bond through spending time with each other on a regular day-to-day basis. Just caring for each other's needs. This is, I can't express to you guys how comfortable this relationship feels to me right now while I'm sitting in this energy. Now, your soulmate marker, right, is in his marriage house. Look at that. Lovely. That means that triggers that there. But marriage is also partnership, like long-term partnership, like Goldie Hawn and whatever that dude she's with is. Now, the part I find most fun here is your Mercury, which is the way your mind works, and your Sun, which is your identity, just who you are, period. Trigger his eighth house. Now, the eighth house is about all the trauma that he's experienced when he was younger: sex, death, power struggles, abuse, anything like that dark. That's where your mind naturally works. Like you understand his trauma, you have a certain sympathy, like in forgiveness that he needed, the ability to look at him without judgment that allowed him to open up in the first place. Now, your Mars is in Aries, still in his eighth house, but it's showing that you're sensitive, but still spicy, like he needs in order to boost his independence. There are a lot of days that he might have a hard time working through emotions that are coming up that he doesn't even recognize, and you sort of give him the fuel to be able to do that, or extracurricular activities to help him disregard them. Now, with your Venus in his ninth house, this is about a higher love, a love unconditional, pushing yourself beyond just yourself in order to help them find peace. In some cases, that's what's going on here. He has a wound in being peaceful, knowing how to find peace within himself. All he knows is like fighting from earlier on in life, just fighting with feelings and stuff. You have learned to value your peace, and that is what you are sharing. That is increasing his belief system, right? And this is about earth, walking in nature, just being a happy person, just things that he did not even recognize could have just been possible for him. So the last area we have here is your 12th house, where you have your Chiron, which is your womb, and your moon, which is your emotions. See, your emotions are being healed by his series, which is what he needs to heal also. Like it works together. You see that combination on both sides? This is sexy. Now that Sun in 12th, that means everything you're thinking in your mind that you don't tell anybody about, he lights that right up. Like he knows what you're thinking when nobody else is. Like this is amazing. All your secret thoughts, your dreams and stuff, like you guys have a telepathic link to emotionally have each other together. It's like you started right off where you ended in the last life and you came back together and it just blended. I can't wait to hear your feedback on this. I hope this is as lovely as this looks. So here we are in your composite. Now the composite tells you the actual storyline. This is like the natal chart for the relationship. And guess what, guys? You're taking the path of family. You came to come back to being a family again. That means going from coworkers or people that work together or had a business or new people that were affiliates together on a day-to-day basis to having a family that you guys sort of have in isolation together. This is after many lifetimes of trying to achieve this goal. And this is actually the goal that you need to exit the game. It looks like in this life, y'all are routed to exit together with this North Node in 12th. Now, the idea here is that all these energies affect both of you guys. So as a couple, you have a sun and Taurus intent. This means people know you as a happy, peaceful company. You bring peace to other people. You share your knowledge because of this Venus here, and you overcome whatever difficulties you might have in your communication or in your peace, so to speak, with love. Like people know you as a loving couple, or they will come to. Now, this moon in Aries means that you guys like to travel, you're adventurous, you might do outdoor stuff together or just always stay busy, but that's where you guys find emotional grounding, is doing things together. Now, your passion and your drive, once again, is something nobody sees because you keep it behind doors. You guys are talking up the storm all the time, and that's how you guys sort of feed this relationship. But all that energy connects to what you do in your day-to-day life. And the fact that you guys love to travel, to travel and spend time together and learn new things. You receive the most expansion at home in this life when you guys are communicating. This is just a lovely setup because look at this, Libra and 4th. That means partnership. That means comfort. That means aristocratic stuff. And possibly you guys even working together to create a family business that you become well known for with this setup. So thank you so much for this opportunity, Amanda, and I can't wait to hear your feedback.